It is September 1st, 2021, and I want to talk to my fellow progressives. So, as you probably know recently, the Texas abortion law controversy has been happening. Texas passed the abortion ban, which I'm not going to go into the super details about that, but basically prevents mostly all abortions, right? And the Supreme Court, they didn't per se side with it, but they would not expedite a ruling. It was the case going on right now. So that means the law in Texas is able to be used at the moment because the Supreme Court did not intervene in blocking it. Will they in the future? Maybe, because as far as I understand, they just wouldn't expedite the case, which gives the Texas abortion time to, or it lets it go into effect. So, but that's not actually my main point, a main topic of this video, right? So that happened, right? And you go on Twitter, right? It's 2021. People are talking about Bernie from 2016, the Bernie versus Hillary primary, the 2016 presidential race, right? People still mad at Bernie for which they shouldn't have been in the first place, but people still mad and blaming Bernie for the Texas abortion law. They're blaming Bernie. They're not blaming conservatives. We got liberal Twitter blaming Bernie. Now, this isn't 2017, it isn't 2018, this is 2021. And they're not attacking conservatives, they're attacking Bernie. Okay, so this is just one post, but there's many. I found it because it was trending on Twitter. There's just like, a bunch of tweets, people either, talking about Bernie or not liking Bernie, stuff like that, And so I want to talk to my progressives right now. What are we doing? What the fuck are we doing right now? It's 2021. People out here still attacking Bernie for the conservative Texas abortion law. There's a reason why progressives can't get anything done. Because we keep attacking each other, apparently. Conservatives, right? They somehow they have a lot more unison in their party. Besides, there's the whole McCain stuff. Uh, you know, the daughter, the late McCain who died, and then the daughter of McCain, and all that. But it's relatively small in comparison to the daily like fighting that goes on in the Democratic Party, right? People attacking Bernie, people attacking AOC all the time. So, like, what are we doing? What progressives? We're not going to get anywhere like this. We're not. It's just not going to happen. Like, if we keep just a Texas abortion law, we're going back to 2016. Tech Bernie for sticking in the primary race a bit longer. Still campaigning against Trump for Hillary, but people what are we doing? Are we trying? They're not. They could, these people who are mad about the abortion law in Texas, which they should be mad. Instead of saying, "Hey, we need to get more progressive in Congress on the next election cycle, when the next elections for Senate come up," instead of advocating like, "Hey, we need to vote for progressive senators to have a majority in Congress so we can get some stuff passed, right? So we can actually make some laws to make things better. And we need the majority to do that, to make laws to make it easier to get abortions, to do federal laws for stuff like that. But instead of advocating and pushing that, we're attacking Bernie from 2016. It's 2021. How are these people still stuck in 2016? Like, can we get it together? We are not going. Progressives are not going to get anywhere if we keep feeding this or paying attention to. I mean, I know I'm paying attention to it, but it gets too much noise just in the media in general, right? And we need to push back against it because we can't win. Progressives can't win if we're divided. The conservatives are unified, even if they're smaller. Can't win against even the small conservative population if we keep, trying to beat up the progressive next to us. Like what are we doing? Progressives need to start coming together. We're not going to agree on everything. That's fine. But don't be going back and attacking your fellow leftists for something a conservative government did. Attack conservatives. Encourage progressive policies. Encourage progressive voting. Encouraging progressive voting, progressive messages, is how you're going to get to a better place where things like the Texas abortion law don't happen. Attacking Bernie from 5 years ago is not going to help anything. In fact, it's going to make people want to vote less. They have this, people have this platform, right, to encourage people to do good things, to encourage productive activities, to get the progressive agenda better footing in the future. But instead, I don't know if these people on Twitter are progressives or leftists, or they're just, conservatives and a democratic Party disguise, But we can't listen to these people, right? We have to keep united and focused and keep voting every year for progressive candidates, and slowly, it's not going to happen in 1 year, right? Every year, every time there's an election, vote for the most progressive candidate you can. You're not going to leftist, anarchist, whatever you are. You're not going to agree on everything a leftist candidate offers. You're not going to get to your candidate in one election cycle, most likely. You have to keep voting left and left and left until you actually get to the kind of left that you want. And progressives, we're not always going to agree on every little thing, right? But we're sure as hell going to agree a lot more than conservatives who want to ban abortion, who are not pro-choice, who are undemocratic, who want a one-party state where it's just Republican and all other parties are outlawed. Because we don't need to discuss that, right? I mean, we know that that's what Republicans want. I mean, we had the coup or attempted coup. Conservatives obviously are not going to help us. So why are we fighting with people who could help us? Why are progressives trying to fight each other? If a progressive, like, they say they're progressive, tries to, attack other leftists, I don't consider them progressive, right? Just, we need to push those people out and focus on unifying progressive policies. And we need to just ignore and denounce any kind of infighting like this, where we're just attacking super progressive people, or like Bernie, because I don't know why they're doing it exactly. They're just they don't want to admit that they're wrong, so they think Bernie's an easy target because socialist, whatever. So they're like mad at something, but they can't be mad at themselves. Or like they're gonna find someone to be mad at, and so they're gonna pick Bernie because he's the problem with the left party, right? Yeah, let's not do that. Let's again encourage, unify, encourage voting progressive, step by step, more progressive every year, and push back against these insane people trying to attack and split the Democratic Party or progressives in general. Let's yeah, strongly push back against that, because then we're never going to win. And that's the problem with, that's why progressivism has never gotten a strong foothold. It's because we keep just bickering amongst ourselves. We need to come together, whether we're anarchist, socialist, maybe you're a bit commie, you know, dem, but in a democratic fashion, though what communism is a kind of whole big topic in itself. But there are many kinds of leftists, right? But we're not going to get freaking anywhere if we attacking our fellow leftists and instead not doing productive things like attacking conservatives and encouraging voting for progressives on the next election. Wow. I keep getting my mind blown every time I look over and just like, what are we doing? All right, so progressives, get your shit together, because we aren't going to go anywhere. If we're going back 5 years to blame Bernie, conservatives are just going to keep pushing out laws, keep pushing out restrictive voting, but we'll just like attacking another progressive from 5 years ago. Yeah. So don't do that. Use your platform and your voice to not bicker. Use it to encourage the future, productive things we can do for the future, not 5 years ago, right now, and the future. We can't go back 5 years. We can't go back 1 year. We have now, and we have the future, and attack conservatives for the things conservatives do. Don't attack leftists for the things they did not do, and that they did not encourage, and that they did not vote for. Use your voice and to promote productive leftism going forward, and to keep pushing leftism and not bickering, keep pushing leftism to more productive avenues so we can actually, win and keep and gain a majority in the government. Because that's the only way we're going to get anywhere. Remember, it may not happen in one election cycle. Well, it's not going to. You have to keep voting and pushing the leftist agenda every year. It's never going to stop. You're going to get there bit by bit by bit, not at once. And the candidate you vote for is not necessarily going to have all the leftist things you want. They're going to have a lot more than the conservative candidate. So just keep voting for the most leftist candidate you can, and eventually you should get to the leftism, the progressive, the far left that we want. All right? Hey, leftists, can we do that? Because I hope we can do that. So let's get pissed about the bickering and start doing some good stuff out there. All right? All right, take care.